What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sneaker Homegirls Podcast. I'm Rossetti Gutierrez-Uy.
And I am Maria DiMaggio Hickman. We're two Las Vegas realtors blending real estate, hustle, and sneaker culture all in one place.
If you're into real estate, entrepreneurship, and making big moves, you're in the right spot.
We're breaking down market trends, sharing behind-the-scenes stories, and giving you the game on how to build wealth through real estate.
And of course, we're talking sneakers, culture, and how we stay fresh while handling business.
So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. This is the Sneaker Homegirls Podcast.
Let's go. Hello, welcome back. And I don't know.
Zeddy has
gone.
had a weekend. She's still recovering from EDC, so give her a little grace on the podcast today. I see you got your Celsius.
Yes, please pray for me. Keep me in your prayers. I need rest.
It's been a heck of a week for both of us, right? I feel like you got to let loose a little bit maybe, but I can't believe how you went on no sleep. How do you do that?
I don't think it's recommended by a doctor, but it's a great time. So they do a VIP bottle service at the Kinetic Field, which is the main stage, and I help with all the accounting. So it is a whirlwind of lots of fun and great music and late nights.
Late nights,
Early mornings,
you mean early
really.
mornings. You were texting me at like 6:30. Oh, I'm just off. And I'm like, oh my God.
I know, I was texting you, I was like going into work, and then I'm like, you're probably just waking up now. Still here, going to bed now. See you in 3 hours.
Crazy. I imagine that you have like a lot of stories. And
Yes.
a lot of fun. Probably can't share too much online, but
Yeah.
it had to have been a fun weekend.
It was really fun. The headliners did great. Kinetic Field is, I think, one of the most best parties. There's also different stages like Circuit Grounds and Neon Gardens where you can also get bottle service, but the overall energy in the room or on the Speedway, I mean, I think this year they had 500,000 people. So
Holy cow.
it's a good time. Lots of loving each other and good music, and the vendors are always good food. So
That's great. I love it. So people like actually sleep there the whole weekend. I've never been, so you'll have to fill me in. They sleep there in tents?
yes, so there is a section, a part of the Speedway, just like they normally would for any race, where you can camp.
Okay.
So travelers will come from wherever they come from. I saw this church van from like Georgia. I was like, did you bring the
Stop it.
church van to EDC? And they'll have Camp EDC. Camp EDC is also a space where they have small little concerts like throughout. I don't know exactly what they do out there, but Insomniac does a great job putting it all together, and you pay for your parking space.
Okay.
You can either pay for a space or a car, I believe, but it's just a pass to get in through the gates. 10 years ago, everything was on Thursday. So it's gotten way better and more advanced over time. So they load in campers like the beginning of the week, and then they're all set up by the time the actual show starts on Friday.
Okay. And I saw we had like a big storm. I of course was sleeping. You were full on probably dancing, having fun. But there was a storm. What happened with that storm? Stages were falling down or something? Or
So there is a safety requirement that if you build up a deck or any like sort of pop-up like place that people are actively on, especially if there's a roof over it, the fire department will tell you to evacuate the space because, you know, nobody wants that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
in case. It was very short, like lived for a period of time, but we did have to evacuate the deck and most other structures as well, just because the winds were like almost 50 miles an hour.
did anything fall?
No,
Oh,
nothing
that's
fell.
good.
It's more just if it fell,
Okay.
that no one's under there.
Right.
And then that way, you know, everyone is safe and less things for the medical and the fire department to take care of. But
Yeah.
we got a great staff that works there since there is so many people. I know they pull from the military, the police officers are there. So everyone's all hands on deck to help people.
Yeah.
And especially with Narcan.
Yeah. Everyone carrying Narcan.
Some people have a little too much fun, and unfortunately, opioid overdose happens. So Narcan is a way to reverse that, so they don't die.
Yeah, that's nice.
So-
that I know. I went to a conference or something, and the one lady who she gives them away for free. Like her daughter had died from an overdose, and so she's big on that. So she gives them away. But was saying like they really do revive you right away. It's amazing.
Yeah, because I believe, and I can't confirm this, I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure they go into like a seizure. status, if depending on what it is or whatever they're going through. But if you can give them Narcan prior to that, it stops it, so they don't reach that stage. So you may not like you pretty much save their life.
Yeah, that's amazing. I took what she was giving away for free because I thought, you never know. I mean, you can't just assume that people around you aren't. And so I have it with me just in case too all the time. You never know when you can save a life.
Yeah. I mean, I know everybody was grown adults, but in children especially, and if you are with other people's children or something like that, you never really know.
Right.
But if you don't have it, you can't, you literally cannot help them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have, need it and not have it.
Yeah. And, sometimes I think that, your mental health and all the things that happen throughout that process, some people have a little too much fun.
Yeah.
Get addicted to having a little too much fun.
Yes, I imagine so.
And then they go, meow.
And then just you were kind of sharing with me, you couldn't share too much, but just the cost on everything. Bottles, $10,000 for a bottle of alcohol that you could go to the store and pay $100 for.
Yeah.
$10,000.
It's really the experience, because the cost outside of the deck is, fairly reasonably appropriate for everything else. But you are paying for the service. So we definitely make it worth that. And everything that you do, and real estate. I mean, some of the people that were there, they were like, okay.
Yeah.
They're just like, all right, they're traveling from all over the world. It's not just America. They're coming from, Korea and Australia and England and Thailand. They come here for this event. They have been for many years, and it's just a party.
Just a big party.
Just a big party.
Very cool. Well, while you were there was some tragedy here in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Athletic Club. I don't know if you saw that, the shooting and stuff. Actually, you did, because it was right by where you live. Mm-hmm. And that was really sad to see. But I'll tell you what, our police officers were on the spot. They handled it so quickly and swiftly. And so shout out to all of you guys for what you do and keeping us safe. And we really appreciate it. But it was really sad. There was one person who died in it, and other than the shooter, right? But it was just really sad to see that that's happening in our community, and just, I don't know, the mental health of people and everything that's going on. We got to figure this out, because we can't be having people just randomly walk into athletic facilities shooting people.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's I think so that happened Friday. That was day one of the show, and I was leaving, and I was I think it happened at 1:00. Mm-hmm. So I think about this in any situation. It's Las Vegas. I was raised here, but anything can happen, mm-hmm. And I always think that you should just be nice to everyone, because you never know who's gonna you just pull things like that. I would be traumatized, and it is a tragedy that happened to someone that has nothing to do with anything. But I listened to the press release, and they said that he had a malfunction in his gun. So he originally planned to shoot everyone.
Wow.
And he had multiple rounds in his pockets. The only reason he didn't, and he shot 4 people, was because he had a malfunction, and then the police officers were right outside when they took him out. But that's the only, because he turned back. He was trying to fix it and then come back.
Wow.
And I saw in the video, there was a person that literally,
I saw that
there
too.
Was a person that left here.
And he had his gun like this.
Yeah, but I also think he did a great job, because you can't run. Because then you're going to panic him.
Right.
And then, obviously there's a lot of mental health when it comes to why is this person doing this? But when I listened to it, it sounded like he came in and then he came out, and then he got the gun and then he came back in. So regardless, I think, unfortunately, this happens very often around every area. This happened just to be in a big business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go there. I mean, even driving by yesterday, there was 200 cars there,
Did security amp up at all at the festival, or no? Could you tell? I wondered if they were worried that.
No, I don't think so. No. But the deck is a little different. We're packed. We're packed with security. You can't go through any side of that deck unless, you go through check-in and things like that. But I think for our area, I was talking to a lot of my neighbors, and it made them feel uncomfortable. I think some of them went there or don't feel comfortable being there. And that zip code in specific is the most populated in the whole city because there's more apartments. So there's a lot of people living in like close corridors in that area. And it's unfortunate because there's a lot of families raising children there and, you know, like first responder, like people are still living their lives, grocery stores, going to the gym. And something that happens like that in an area that is kind of getting a little gentrified, it's a big impact. So just really knowing where your exits are, knowing, you know, what your surroundings are, and really paying attention. You just never know.
I know, because you can't stop living. You still have to continue living. You still, you know, but it is just be more aware of your surroundings. And yeah, I was shocked when I saw that guy walking out so calmly and
He's
the
lucky.
guy walking in with the gun. I mean, we are an open carry state, so I imagine, you know, somebody having an open carry could be considered normal around here, but my heart probably would have been racing so hard. And I don't know if I would have been able to stay calm, but I guess you have to in those circumstances. That was crazy.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are police officers or police dispatchers, and they say, like, if you're ever in a situation like that you tell them about who you are.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, like you would be like, I'm a mom, I have 5 kids.
Yeah.
You know, like start telling this person and like helping them like understand what they're doing.
Right.
Because a lot of the time they don't know what they're doing because their mental health is like all over the place, right? So if you remind them, you have a chance.
Yes.
You know, it's really stressful to overcome that. Right?
Yeah.
Like if that guy would have ran, it probably would have triggered him.
Just
probably would have triggered him. He would have just shot.
Yeah.
You know, who knows what could have happened?
Smart for sure. That was smart.
And I think they mentioned all the charges on the person that, you know, is deceased now.
Previously
like if he were to have survived it, because they shot him and took him to UMC.
Yeah.
There were like multiple, you know, charges for that, but unfortunately
they haven't come up as his motive, have they?
No.
Yeah.
It's still an active investigation.
Yeah, I'm interested to find out why. I mean, not that there's ever a real reason
He
why.
was a member.
Oh, he was?
He was a member.
Okay.
So, I mean, it could be many things.
Yeah. Who
I mean,
knows?
That I remember when I was growing up, LVAC was like the gym. It was the old Gold's gym, you know? So they were one of the first facilities to open like a large space. And then, you know, Lifetime came, and then all these smaller gyms like LA Fitness and not smaller, but like smaller than LVAC, I guess, more like training facilities like D1 and like Fit Gym, things like that, especially with all these PPP loans.
Yes.
People are opening gyms up. I think that it was the big like social club, right? Now I think there's different choices, Pilates, True Fusion that you could go to. Not as many people I know go to LVAC, except everyone in our office.
Yes. I feel like it's like a nightclub outside of a nightclub.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think it's also because it's on Flamingo.
Yeah, it does make it easier.
That was the club, like before Summerlin was Mesas and Vistas. That was like where all the hospitality people like that I knew would go, where you gotta have like your cute outfits and stuff and
makeup
like
done
that.
to go work out. Like
now I'm like hood on, zip tied. I'm like, do not talk to me. Scan this. Okay, bye. It's like
Is that where you go work out? Where do you go work out?
I go to EOS.
Okay.
I used to go to Lifetime, but I work out from home.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just motivating sometimes when I go to the gym.
Yes.
And be like, okay, I'm here. But lately I feel like, why am I here? Like, because the service is terrible there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just need to send this email.
You're not supposed to be working while you work out, though.
I know, but sometimes that's why I have the treadmill at home.
Yeah.
So I work and walk.
That's good.
It's funny. I took a couple Zoom calls and they were like, are you walking? I was like, I'm walking.
Yeah.
I need like mental, like this needs to be released.
It does help with your mental clarity when you're working out on a consistent basis. I haven't been working out in the last probably, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks. And I feel it. Like, I feel like my brain has got this slow response system in it. And like I don't know. It's just weird. I've got to that's why we're going to Pilates tomorrow.
Yes, we are. Hot Pilates?
I think it's hot Pilates.
Oh boy.
So get ready to sweat. We'll let you know how we do next week. But
come get an empty home sweat towel.
we can do that.
That'd be fun.
It would
We could do that. Be like, hey, who wants to come with us?
Yes. We'll have our own like MD Homes workout day.
I think like this weekend really put into perspective, especially being around a lot of people who have a lot of money. You know, everyone feels the shift due to many different reasons, especially in the United States with our president making so many changes in the first few months, to never stop living.
Right. I agree.
And just do your best and, be careful, watch people around you. I don't think people should live in scarcity.
No.
Because that's not a healthy place to keep yourself, and exercise regularly.
Yes. And I do think that we do need to check ourselves. I think sometimes when the economy is robust and fast and going really great, kind of like it was in 2019, things like that, we were all living, like we were having, and it was great. But that's not realistic either. Just like 3% interest rates are not realistic. Now I feel like we're slowly coming back to reality where it's not so hard on everybody, but it's also not so fantastic. And we have to get used to the new normal way of living when it comes to housing, interest rates, all of that stuff. I mean, I feel it even out there with real estate. I feel like things are slowing down a little bit, but I think it's okay. I think we need to be okay with the new normal and kind of normalize, 6% rates, 6.5% rates. This is where we're going to be, I think, for a while, and people need to kind of get used to it and just move on. Like real estate is still over time the best investment I feel like anybody can make. I saw something over the last 30 years, interest or real estate has gone up 421%. So it's still a great investment. Don't be afraid to get into real estate. Don't be afraid to go out there. And I feel like now it's, at least for me, and I think you're seeing this, it's a buyer's market. Go out there and ask. Houses are sitting on the market longer than they have in the last 3-4 years. Ask for closing costs. Ask for a lower price. What are they going to do? Say no? It's okay. Just go out there and ask.
Yeah.
Let's start the negotiation.
Yeah, I feel a little indifferent. I don't completely think it's a buyer's market, and I don't necessarily think it's a seller's market. In our market in specific, I think we just have super low inventory, super low. And to be honest, our inventory is probably a little bit more than it was last year over year. So we have a little bit more inventory, but what I think consumers don't like when they say interest rates is they can't afford it. Right. So
it comes down to the payment.
Yeah. They're like, oh, I want a $500,000 house. But if I were to tell you in 2015 that you want a $500,000 house, you'd be like, yeah, right. What are you talking about? I can't afford that. But because the cost of everything has gone up, that's your average, new home or things like that. $500,000 10 years ago was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money. So when they ask for a 6% interest rate, pretty reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the sellers, I think it's important because they are a buyer. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be 10 offers in, multiple offers and maybe budge a little bit on the seller side, right? Mm-hmm. You're able to get into something that's a little bit nicer compared to selling for a lot of money and then you're stuck.
Yeah.
What do you do? So I think a lot of people in our market that bought 5-10 years ago or even 3 years ago, they're just here, right? They were here for a little bit and they really liked it and they didn't take a chance and then now they're here again. They're like, ugh. And they're like, are we going here? And you're like, oh my gosh. But in any market, it's going to go like this. I swear, and I get it as a consumer, as a homeowner, when you are watching your value on Zillow, you're like, it's worth this much. It's worth what you think it's worth.
And what somebody's willing to pay.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be worth whatever someone's willing to pay. But then, we've always talked about, if you're going to sell, then where are you going to go? And it's got to make sense for you. So I definitely think we don't have enough inventory. That's a huge part of the problem. But I also feel like, buyers are looking unrealistically sometimes at homes and they want the big old dream, but they want to pay a very, beer pocketbook price. And it's just not working right now.
Beer pocketbook price. Everyone, I just want to say, I would love to help you get into a home in Summerlin for $250,000. It's off market.
Not happening.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't even know if there's off market. It's just not happening.
It's not happening. Are there deals to be made? Absolutely. Are there opportunities where you can buy a property for as reasonable as that? Sure. But do you have a pre-approval letter?
Mm-hmm. Are you pre-approved?
Are you pre-approved? Because deals like that go fast because investors, cash buyers in this market, a good deal like that doesn't last 24 hours, you know? So I think it's always interesting that people are like, I want to start investing or I want to do this. Like, yes, I'm here for that 100%. But I'm the kind of person that, I mean, maybe you can relate to this. I'm going to make a football reference.
I love it. All right, bring
football,
it.
Okay. You're reviewing all the plays. You're reviewing like what the other side has done. And then you act on it. Right? When you play, and it's game time,
It's
you know?
game time.
But what these people do is that they think they can just show up to game time and they're like, these people are faster than me and I don't have this. Like, okay, well, because we were supposed to do all this stuff first, you didn't practice, you know? And something, because my new build is 60 days out, usually this time in the process is where I recommend for them to connect with their lender because rates might have changed since they started building. Are they locked? Are they not locked? There's a lot of moving parts on the lending side that has nothing to do with me. To help them make better decisions for themselves and like navigate through that process. So it's forever changing. I think the most common misconception is that rates change weekly. Rates change daily.
Sometimes several times during the day.
Several times during the day. So it's not necessarily the rates. It's more just being more in tune with where your paperwork shows, because that's what we work based off of is paperwork, and knowing if that's an affordable price for you or if you need to go out and make more sales.
Yeah. And I will say one of the tactics that we do on the lending side is, you know, if let's just say that the going rate for the day that they're doing the pre-approval is 6.5%, we will take it up to 7% and show them just that this is just in case. Are you still comfortable with this payment? Because rates do fluctuate. And if you're in a situation like that where they got pre-approved, let's say at 6.25%, and now they're closing it at 7%, that's a big difference. And you just want to make sure that the buyers are going to be comfortable because closings can take sometimes 21 days and sometimes 90 days, 120, depending on the house itself. So making sure that people are informed and educated about how rates work and worst case scenarios is really, really important to do. And if your lender themselves didn't do that, ask them to do it. Show me what the payment is at a higher rate, just in case rates do fluctuate. What is my payment going to be? It's a simple, easy thing for us as lenders to show you. So don't be afraid to ask that either.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I think as a realtor, and you can relate to this because you're a realtor too, but they always ask us so many questions. And I'm like, the questions you need to ask are the lender. You know, I'm over here getting you a good deal and like appliances and Ring cameras and stuff and like, you know, repairs. Like I don't have $700,000. Like and I definitely will not, I will be higher than 7%.
If I'm giving you the money.
So, and I think that's already uncomfortable step for most people that aren't like in tune with that. But really like, you know, taking that grow up step and we see where we're spending. Okay. What are we spending? How much is coming in? How much is coming out? Because you don't, 43% of your monthly?
Typically.
Yeah. Whatever your amount is that you make like per month, I'm not a lender. This is just real people advice. What everyone thinks that they need to do is like 50% debt to income ratio. So let's say you make $10,000, your mortgage payment should not be less than $3,000, $4,000, whatever, because that's like 40%. But they'll be like, oh yeah, I can afford like 5 or 6. And you're like, if you want to be house poor, I mean, like
who wants that? Yeah, you don't want that.
It's a decision that is so in tune with each person's lifestyle. It really depends.
Absolutely. Yeah. And remember too, lenders go off of gross income. That's not what your paycheck looks like at the end of the 2-week pay period. So we do use gross income, which is great because we can get people pre-approved for more, but it's also can be a false thing to think, oh my gosh, you're not bringing home that amount of money. So, you know, it's just making sure that you're educated on the whole process is super important. What is the market doing right now?
All right. So
let's see.
For the last 7 days in our market, we have 1,007 new listings.
Okay.
So that's a good amount. 1,084 price decreases.
That keeps going up every week.
You know, I mean, they're not at a good price. Prices are coming down. Just kidding. They're not. They're not coming down. Sellers are becoming more realistic. That's what we see right now. Under contract, we have 751. Doing math quickly.
Okay.
662 sold. So
that's good. Things are
It's
moving.
been consistent the last two. 17 contingent upon sale. That's a lot in 1 week. 270 withdrawn. So
that's much higher than the previous week.
I think it was like only 2 digits the last week that we did. And then that's for residential. What do you think?
Well, I'm not surprised about the price decreases because I'm definitely seeing that. I think people are getting more realistic about where the price needs to be. And going into the summer months, although on East Coast, Midwest, summer tends to be a little bit better for real estate. Here, it slows down a little bit because it's scorching hot and people just are not thinking about it. So I think that's going to stay trending that way. I think people are going to have to lower their price and be more realistic about the sale. And is that directly affecting home values? Would you say, or what do you think? I don't know.
I think there are a lot of buyers in our market, and there are a lot of buyers outside of our market that have a lot of money. And if you're a local, it's just important to know, like, what your plan is. If you rent for 1 year, if you rent for 3 years, like whatever the plan to get you there. If you plan to live here more than 13 months, it would be a good consideration to think about buying. I understand that there's a lot of factors that come into play when you're buying. Do you like this house? Is it affordable for you? Like, if you're in a busy workplace or a work environment, I can understand that, like, thinking about buying a house is like mental capacity is like we're capped. But I think our market has so much growth right now, and there's a lot of entertainment coming. Hollywood is coming. Big corporations with warehouses are being built in Henderson. Lennar just made a $36 million acquisition for affordable housing. So just being in tune with if it makes sense for you, I think is a good place.
Yeah, I do too. I still think this market is definitely different than what else is out there. We are growing. In my heart of hearts, I don't think that real estate would be a bad choice to buy and invest in here in Vegas. And I think it's still a safe investment. I just think, like everything else, people just have to get used to that's a new normal, and everything is going to be okay.
Everything is going to be okay.
We're going to be okay.
And I think some of the areas that are around town that is a little bit more affordable for people, you know, maybe they're used to living in the Mesas, right? Well, the Mesa is going to be $8,000 a month unless you got a lot of money saved. So living maybe somewhere close to, you know, more affordable areas for temporary placement, that's an adjustment that you have to decide if you want to take that leap or not, and understand that you're paying $30,000 to $40,000 to your landlord every month, every year.
Oh God, month.
No, not month. But I think last time, or I saw a statistic somewhere, it said your average renter paid $330,000 in rent.
I know. And
I'm like,
people only realize that. It's just
like,
hard.
no?
But we're here to help people.
Okay, so I put the numbers together. If you get, and you're a lender, so you can attest to this. I put a 600. This is just my app. This is estimated cost. This is not real cost. Please connect with a lender.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. $600,000 home price. So if you're looking online in Zillow and you're like, I like this house, it's $600,000, and we're looking at a 3.5% down payment for FHA because
Right.
it's the minimum down payment amount that you're able to use, and then we'll do a rate of 7% for 30 years, and then let's just put the HOA at 150, just because
Pretty reasonable.
Yeah, like something that's, you know, decently amount. So let's press compute on the app. Oh, it says the loan requested is greater than FHA. Okay, let's do conventional. Sorry. I'm not a lender.
See, she's just trying to pretend
Start
she's
again.
one.
Okay. 10%. What is it? 5%?
5%. Well, you can do 3%, but 5% is good.
Okay. So, whoa, what did I do? Whoa. I just pressed something.
See, this is why realtors should not try and be lenders. Right here. This is an example.
You know what? If my clients would actually talk to their lenders, that'd be fantastic. But they don't talk to their lenders. You have to be able to communicate with your lender. If you don't communicate with your lender and you don't have a great connection with your lender, you need a new lender. Okay? If you can't tell them you didn't work for 2 weeks, then I don't know how to help you. Okay, start over. This is why I will never be a lender, ever. Never. Okay, $600,000 conventional loan, 5% down, 7% interest rates. Sorry, guys, we're a little over today. Ooh, okay.
It's going to hurt.
$63,897 brought to close with a $30,000 down payment, and your mortgage payment a month is $48.61.
And that's not including taxes, insurance.
At $600,000, taxes is in here for $455.
Oh, it is?
Insurance is here for $155.
Okay.
What do you think?
That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And you got to, consider how much you want. But then if you are going to go rent that same type of house, how much is the rent going to be? And then that money literally goes to nothing. So, of course, I think rent's always going to be a little bit cheaper. But when you have your own house payment, it's an investment and you have to invest in yourself. I don't know. I still think no matter what. And if that payment's too high, I think it's a lot of money. But at the end of the day, I think it's super important to realize that it's an investment and you're not throwing money away. Because if you were to go and rent that same exact house is probably going to be $3,000, $3,500 a month, I'm guessing, as a rental. And you're taking a chance of your landlords having you leave because they decide they want to sell. You don't have the security of having your own home. And $3,000 a month times 12 is $36,000 a year that you just threw out when you could have been investing in yourself. So either way, I'm still team buy your own home all the way.
This is why you asked your lender. See how fast she did that? I was like, okay, hold on. Let me put this in my calculator really quick and just put it in here. Like, ask the lender. I don't know. Do you want the appliances? Okay. Do you want them to fix this? I can work on that.
Let's negotiate the car that's in the driveway. I got you.
Yeah. You know what? Some people be doing that with golf carts. Golf carts are very expensive.
Absolutely.
Like, $30,000 golf cart. Is it going to come with the house or what?
Hey, I'm willing to try and negotiate it for sure. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. It was a pleasure being here. I love my time with Rosetti, and I hope you enjoyed our time too. Come back next week.
Peace. That's a wrap for this episode of the Sneaker Homegirls Podcast.
We appreciate you tapping in and rocking it with us. Real estate, hustle, and sneakers, that's what we do.
If you got value from this episode, make sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode.
Follow us on Instagram at The Sneaker Homegirls for behind-the-scenes content, market updates, and of course, sneaker drops.
Let us know in the comments what topics you'd like for us to cover next. We love hearing from you.
Until next time, keep hustling, stay fresh, and we'll catch you on the next episode.